Meghan and Harry are furious upon witnessing this. Kate is bound to receive an unfortunate legacy from King Charles. Welcome back to our Princess Diana news channel, where we delve into the potential challenges that the Prince and Princess of Wales may face due to Charles. However, is this vast wealth causing resentment for the Sussexes? Meghan presents herself as a fashion enthusiast, so it seems reasonable to expect that she would be aware of basic fashion knowledge. While she may not have a formal background in the fashion industry, this understanding should be common sense. Moving on from these comments, let's focus on today's main topic. Spending time contemplating the peculiar, unpredictable, and occasionally remarkable institution of the British monarchy reveals one undeniable truth. There is always a victor who can leisurely indulge in their pie while pondering if there are more bottles of that exquisite wine available for purchase. And then there are the remaining individuals who possess titles but remain stuck on the disadvantaged side of authority, seniority, and wealth. This is exemplified most notably in the Testament of a Monarch. This testament not only serves as a legally binding document that is securely guarded, but also benefits from customized tax laws that ensure the majority of their wealth is passed down to their immediate successor. Consequently, when the time comes for King Charles to pass away, it is highly likely that his son, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, will inherit all of his wealth, which is estimated to be around £1. His Majesty's son and daughter-in-law, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, may inherit not only a billion-dollar fortune but also a significant challenge in the form of a monumental PR disaster. Compared to this predicament, the Sussex controversy will seem trivial. While William and Catherine may ultimately succeed, they could also find themselves grappling with an unparalleled amalgamation of legal, moral, political, and financial complexities. The origin of a sovereign amassing over $1 billion in personal wealth can be traced back to the circumstances surrounding this significant accumulation, which even excludes the $1.25 billion Duchy of Lancaster estate that the monarch receives income from. It all began when Charles II, during the 1660s, granted a charter for what eventually developed into the Royal African Company. It is important to recognize and acknowledge the lasting impact of the slave trade, as it continues to benefit society today. President Ali pointed out the evidence of this connection within the palaces in Britain, where the labor, suffering, and financial gain from the exploitation of slaves can still be seen. The request for justice in addressing this issue is not about seeking extravagant privileges, but rather acknowledging the historical injustices that have occurred. This was further emphasized by the timing of President Ali's presence in close proximity to William's significant event, highlighting the interconnectedness of these issues. And the demand for reparations is intensifying, with increasingly vocal voices emerging from countries like Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica, and other nations in recent times. Currently, it is highly unlikely to dismiss the notion that this issue will reach a critical point, potentially even leading to legal proceedings. The United Kingdom, and particularly the colonial history of the royal family, appears to be on the verge of facing significant repercussions. For those not well versed in history, here is a brief review. For approximately 5 centuries, there existed a transatlantic commerce involving the transportation of individuals. Over 11 million individuals were abducted from Africa and brought to the Americas, with Brazil alone receiving a significant portion. This horrific trade persisted until the late 1860s, and it wasn't solely limited to Britain. In truth, France, Portugal, and the Netherlands were also extensively involved in this enterprise. During the 17th century, Britain asserted its dominance via the Royal African Company, led by the Duke of York, who later became James II. Over a period of 15 years, from 1673 to 1688, the Royal African Company facilitated the transportation of approximately 90,000 to 100,000 enslaved individuals. These individuals were often branded with the initials DY or RA on their chests. In the early 1800s, there was a growing awareness of the issues associated with slavery. This led to increased support for the abolitionist movement in the UK, resulting in the formal abolition of slavery. However, it is important to note that this legislation did not extend to India and Sri Lanka. In order to compensate slave owners for their loss of property, the government borrowed a significant amount of money, which can be seen as quite extravagant. The original debt of £20 million took until 2015 to be completely paid off, highlighting its significant magnitude. However, it is crucial to note that none of the funds were allocated to those who were enslaved, showcasing the injustice of the situation. It is worth noting that other European nations such as France, Portugal, and the Netherlands also profited from this morally repugnant enterprise, but we cannot disregard the responsibility of the House of Windsor. Consider this: Kensington Palace remains the residence of William and Catherine in London. Its construction was funded partially by William III, who had acquired shares in the RAC before assuming the position of the company's governor. Numerous individuals are dissatisfied because they believe Charles is neglecting a significant aspect in this situation. As the head of state, being the king should entail demonstrating genuine moral guidance. Many individuals have expressed dissatisfaction with his performance in this specific domain. Given the complexities involved, one might question the feasibility of resolving this matter within his lifetime. Consequently, it appears that William and Catherine may ultimately bear the burden of addressing this intricate issue. Undoubtedly, quite an inheritance for the prince and princess, don't you think? The Waleses have not been particularly successful in acknowledging and dealing with Britain's colonial history. The incident from last year during their Caribbean tour is still fresh in our minds. The decision by Kensington Palace to cancel their initial engagement in the Maya Mountains of Belize, in response to community protests, was rather disappointing. Instead of sincerely engaging and listening to the concerns of the people, the palace opted to relocate William and Catherine's appearance to a more pleasant setting for the cameras. Understandably, this decision was met with criticism and did not convey a positive image. During the remainder of their tour, William and Catherine adhered to a program that many individuals deemed outdated. Upon returning to Britain, they encountered their first significant challenge as members of the royal family. It was reported that William held crisis meetings to discuss reforming the monarchy, with both him and Catherine expressing their determination to challenge traditional royal protocols. However, as far as I am aware, no notable changes have transpired from these discussions. Additionally, some individuals criticize William's proactive approach towards advocating for what he believes is morally correct on a separate matter. He has openly advocated for the removal of nearly 2,000 ivory items in the royal collection from public display. I comprehend that this issue is highly intricate, and I recognize that the British government may not favor the king and his family getting involved independently. However, the longer it seems like the royal family is neglecting this matter, the more damage it will cause to their global reputation, regardless of whether that is justified or not. I empathize with their desire to focus on the future. It is understandable why there is reluctance to address the involvement of the monarchy in Britain's colonial past. However, it is inevitable that this issue will need to be confronted, although this may prove to be a lengthy and complex undertaking. Consequently, William and Catherine may find themselves burdened with the significant task of reconciling the historical role of the monarchy in slavery with the realities of the contemporary world. Hence, it is plausible that in the future, William and Catherine will experience increased wealth owing to their royal status. However, they might eventually need to come to terms with a rather disturbing history. What are your thoughts on this perspective? Please share your opinion in the comments section below. If you enjoyed tonight's video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and pass it on to your loved ones whenever you please. Also, remember to subscribe to our Princess Diana News channel for further updates. We extend our heartfelt appreciation for your viewership. Farewell, and we eagerly anticipate reconnecting with you in the near future.